How are you, brother Dez? It's so
Good.
great
How
to
are you,
see you.
brother?
You're
Good
looking
to
good,
see you.
man. You're
Aloha,
looking
man.
good.
Yeah,
Oh,
aloha.
aloha. Does that mean you're
Well,
in the islands?
we're in California, but we've got a Fafara tiki bar here. Even though I'm sober, we've got an incredible tiki bar here with pool table video games for the kids. And
That's
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. How are
That's
you, man?
beautiful.
How are
I'm
you?
doing good. I'm just like chomping at the metal bit to get back out on the road, Des.
Yeah,
Like we all are, man. It's been tough trying to push through this on many levels,
yeah,
but definitely the fact that we haven't been able to get out on those stages again where we love
yeah,
to be
yeah,
and to be with all of our beautiful fans. It's been quite a challenge, besides the fact that some of the horrific moments where people have been taken from us,
yeah. Of
um
course, it's
the
been
whole
devastating.
planet whole planet's been affected by it, but we're
Yeah,
about to
it's
get back
it's
out
been it's
there.
been devastating, mate. I mean, I haven't seen my band members in almost a year and a half,
Yeah,
right?
same for me, pretty much. Same for me. I mean, we Zoom occasionally,
Yeah,
but I don't think I've seen Glenn in person
yeah,
since not this March, but the March before, when we had the last writing session
right.
for the new priest. So yeah, I mean, thank God for things like this. At least it's
New
better than
priest,
nothing. New priest, yeah,
new priest. I love it.
yeah. I love saying those two words, and
We love
we're
hearing it.
kicking the tires. We got some good stuff in the can, as I say already, but you know you can never stop, can you? Des, you can just keep Dev, you can keep like punching and punching, and we're getting close to the point now, I think, where we say, okay, we've got enough music, let's start going into pre-production.
Yeah, isn't it like and we'll get into the podcast stuff because it's just some real quick questions, but isn't it odd
Sure.
that the last 5 songs that you begrudgingly write together end up to be like the best pieces of work. It's
Oh, yeah.
it's insane like
Yeah,
that.
it's dude, we got everything. No, I think no,
Yeah.
let's get back in the studio for another week. Oh man, we got no. But in all honesty, I don't think we love it. We love being in the studio more than ever now
Yeah.
because, as you know, the possibilities are endless. It's
And like
exciting.
and the
You
time is
start
there
with
that
nothing.
and the time is there. You're not nigh
Yeah,
on done. Yeah.
you start with a clump of metal clay, and then at the end of it, you got something that's going to live forever. It's beautiful, man. It's the best,
Yeah.
best feeling, best feeling you can get.
So look, I want you to bear with me, right? People have been
Okay.
asking me for 10, 15 years to do podcasts, and it's really not my forte. I do them for records with other people or whatever, but man, great. I mean, I'm home. Let's do them in the tiki bar. And they said the first person was going to be Rob. And I was like, love him. I mean, every time I've met
That's
you,
great.
Rob, every time I've met you, you've been so cool. Well, let's jump into it. We got about 35 minutes. I don't want to take too much of
Yeah,
your time.
that's
First of
okay.
all, the podcast is called Bloodthirsty, and
Bloodthirsty.
Bloodthirsty for Bloodstock. And
Yeah.
we all are bloodthirsty for Bloodstock and want to get down to it. Tell me your feelings about Bloodstock and the family there. Tell me about what I perceive as being the best metal festival in the UK. Give me some thoughts, and then we'll get into some questions and some random stuff.
Well, you hit one word there, family.
Yeah.
Metal is all about family. We call it the metal community.
Yeah.
And those guys, at the heart of what they do, it's such a pure love for metal.
Yeah.
And they've made that become the world's premier heavy metal festival in the
Yeah.
pure sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there are other metal festivals per se, but
Yeah.
but as far as the UK goes, man, it's the best.
It's pure, man. It's pure. They give so
Yeah,
many young bands a shot, and then you
they
get to
do.
see,
Yeah,
other guys like us come up and do our thing. It's amazing, man.
yeah.
Um,
We love them. We love them. They're so gracious. They look after us. That we've never ever had any instances of difficulties. They're professionals, and it makes knowing that when you head into the festival site, everything's ready to roar and everything's ready to lift off. So
yeah.
we're stoked because this is going to be the first live show since our last live show in Vegas what, 2 years ago, I think, at the
Oh,
end of the
wow.
Firepower tour. We haven't done any live shows, so this is going to be a very unique, exclusive moment that we're
And
going
have
to
you guys
share
thought about
together.
doing a live stream? Have you thought about doing that? Many bands are doing live streams. I mean, have you thought about doing that? Nah.
There's so many things that you can dive into. Here's the thing: it'll be not only will it be our first live show, it'll be our first official live show celebrating 50 years of heavy metal from Judas Priest. So, man, you know, what more can you ask for?
I love
Uh,
it.
it's going to be such an exciting piece of metal history. That's what we're going to be doing together. We're going to be making heavy metal history
Yeah.
on the hallowed turf of Bloodstock. Yeah,
In the UK, and
yeah,
no doubt sold out. And I'm sure people are
totally.
extremely excited. So for everyone here, like, where are you calling me from? What are you doing at the moment right now?
I'm in boiling, scorching Phoenix, Arizona, where everybody speaks in Celsius, but over here we're talking Fahrenheit, right? So we're about to it's 118 Fahrenheit today, which is just like, what is that? You know, once we hit triple digits, man, you know, my English blood, I loved it when I first moved here many decades ago, and now I'm a vampire. I go out during the day. I'm in my little, you know, in my cocoon. I go out at night and do my hikes in the hills for an hour. Then I come back and dive into the very tepid swimming pool, warm bath for a swim for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, part of keeping in shape, because you have to do that, you know, to get ready to get back on the road.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at right now.
Okay. Yeah. I had to boot up the old treadmill and get ready for shows as well.
You do, especially for us singers. The lungs, you got to keep the lungs working. Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's see. I always said, what have you been up to? Any old hobbies or new hobbies that you picked up along the way with time to be home, time to do things? Anything you've kind of picked up along the way that you've started to do, or things that you've done in the past that you re-picked up? Anything like that?
You know, I'm an old metal dog. You know what they say about you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah.
The joy I still get is just checking out the whole metal scene. There are plenty of opportunities on various websites and various social platforms. So I love that. You know, I love to keep an eye on new talent, wherever it might be coming in from the rest of the world. It has been a time of kind of reflection, of gratitude, really.
Absolutely.
That, you know, you and I are still musicians. We're still working musicians.
Yeah.
We have our beautiful fans that have given us this life, and it's gratitude more than anything else. So yeah, I do my usual, you know, listening to bands and reading and just, you know, gorging myself on Netflix. Sweet Tooth is my thing of the day on Netflix right now. This great new series called Sweet Tooth, which ironically has all the ingredients of what we've just been dealing with COVID, because they call this thing the sick. They call this thing the sick, and it's made humanity evolve. And so, man, I'm watching the show with Thomas, and I'm going, God, is this like art imitating life imitating art? It's crazy. So all that stuff, you know, I'm like, every day I just absorb so much of what's happening in the world.
Yeah, of
and,
course. Like all of us.
A lot of good.
Like all of us. I mean, you know, you've been doing this a lot longer than me, and I only been doing it since about 94, 95, and I had no time to slow down. I couldn't imagine having a year and a half at home, holding my wife's hand in the middle of the night. I couldn't imagine it, but I've been taking this time to do the same thing, like read up on books that I've missed, or spend time with my kids, or, you know, just things that I've missed. Tell me about your autobiography. I know it came out last September, called Confess. How was the process of reviving old memories? I just got finished writing mine with Joel MacGyver, comes out this year. And I really hate the word cathartic when it's used in interviews, but it was cathartic for me to kind of go back. How was that for you? Tell me a little bit about the process. Tell me about how it was received and what it felt like.
Well, first of all, congrats on your book, because
you.
I think it's a great opportunity for our fans, especially, that have been with us and followed us and supported us, to see the other sides of who we are.
Yeah.
And that's what these books are about.
Yeah.
And I had a brilliant time with Ian. Ian's the master of this type of experience.
Yeah.
And we did a lot of talking here in Phoenix. We did the majority of the talking in the kitchen of my little place in Walsall, which I've
Nice.
still got.
Nice.
And we just laid everything on the table. I said to Ian, I said, look, Ian, some tough stuff's happened to me in my life. I said, that you're probably not aware of. I said, I don't know where to go. He goes, look, you know, I did the Nicky Six thing with Heroin Doris and other projects. You've got to put everything on the table, because if you don't, when the book's wrapped up, like 6 months from that point, you'll go, maybe I should have said, said this story or that story. So that's what we did.
That's it.
And that's when the cathartic element comes in, because you're dealing with some pretty dark stuff. I'm sure, you know, there are chapters in all of our lives that you have to say, is this worth sharing? Is there a line that you can't cross? But I don't think there is a line. I think that we're all human. So many of us go through so many similar experiences.
Right.
I'm not special by any stretch of the imagination in some of the life experiences that I've had.
Yeah.
But I think it's just an opportunity for people, if they're interested, to get a deeper look into what makes us tick.
Yeah, I laid it all out too. I was doing mine with Joel MacGyver, and I mean, I remember the first question he asked me. I knew I was in for 3 hours of conversation every other day for months, and the first question he asked me, I broke down on the phone.
Yeah, good.
Said, shit,
good.
hey, this is how we're going to start. Like,
good.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's do this. So yeah,
Yeah.
I have yet to pick it up. I didn't have time to pick it up, but Anastasia, my wife, actually ordered it on Amazon. So I should be getting it this weekend in time to sit out by the pool and read. And I can't wait to get into it. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I want to know, you know. Yeah, I'll hit you up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that I want to know.
Good.
All right. Yeah, we talked a little bit about this, but you have a new record coming. So let's talk a little bit about this. Talk about your process. What I really want to know as a vocalist is, do you write before the music comes to you? Like I do this. I write before the music comes to me, and I never end up using any of it. And when the music comes to me, I rewrite. Do you write when the music comes to you, or do you find yourself writing before that and then putting your words to the music? Tell me how it goes. Give me the process.
We found the best way that it's all worked for Priest, because going back to the beginning, when we were one of the first metal bands to have 2 lead guitar players.
Yeah.
That was the real anvil of what sustained us. So all of the writing came from a place of the singer and the 2 guitar players.
Yeah.
You know, and that's continued all the way, and that's how it's been recently with Glenn and Richie and myself.
Yeah.
Obviously we've all got bits and pieces that we collect at home, stick on the phone, whatever, send over in files.
Yeah.
And then we just get in the room, generally at Glenn's place.
Okay.
And we just start making it. You know, it's like walking into a room full of pieces of jigsaw.
Yeah.
And you know that there are songs there.
Yeah.
You've got to make sure that bit fits there and this bit fits there. I love it, man. I never ever have lost the spark of the excitement of that energy.
Yeah.
And so that's what we do. You know, it's all these records on, all these hundreds of songs on. The challenge is still there, because you know what it's like for most of us as musicians. We have kind of an established well of who we are and how we present ourselves.
Yeah.
But each time we try and give a different inflection, give a different character, give a different, you know, vibe to it. So that's what happened with Firepower. So we're trying to get up another rung on the heavy metal ladder, and you know, take it to 11.
I'm sure you'll get there, man.
But it's great, man. It's coming together slowly but surely. We're excited. Yeah.
So that's how you write, but when you record, I have a real difficult time when I record. If there's people in the room, I can't do it. Do you record with the band there? Do you record just you and the producer like that? I want to know that specifically.
Okay. I need it. I need to hear the drums. I need to hear some bass, and I need to hear some rhythm.
Yeah.
I need to hear the core framework of the song. I never start writing my lyrics until I know which songs we're going to utilize, because then, you know, I can get my messages put in the right place, because as you know, the fierceness of a message is generally attached to a song with a lot of strength and power and tempo and aggression.
Right.
So my brain doesn't even kick in. I have to have all of the songs and I listen to them forever. And then I start to formulate where I'm going to go with the lyrics. And that's the end process for me.
Okay.
As far as I always have Glenn around, because I still value his input. Richie as well.
That's cool.
Ian comes and goes, Scott's in and out. It's funny you should say that, because when we started to make our records, I'm sure it was the same with your band, everybody was in the studio.
Yeah.
So when you went into the vocal booth and that red light would go on, it would be like, oh my God, it's almost like fear and panic, deer in the headlights, because
that's true.
You've got your job to do, but there's all those people the other side of the glass, and they're judging you, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Because we want the best out of each other.
Yeah.
So for the longest time, I found that really difficult. Now I'm just like, okay, stop. We've got more than enough, especially with Andy, Do It Again, Sneap. I
love Andy.
I enjoy it, man. I love it. It's just the pressure is not as intense as it was back in the day. But that there's a thing here where you can't really let your foot off the gas, can you?
No.
Because you've got to really still, you've really still got to maintain a lot of the things that you are as a band and what your fans are expecting. It's a mind game. You really got to figure that out as a musician, as well as writing the songs and making the records and going on stage.
Yeah. Your voice has always been one of my favorites, man. It's just one of my favorites. I'm going to give you a little backstory here, and I kind of, excuse me if I'm looking down, but I'm reading.
That's okay.
Well, but a little backstory is when I first heard Priest, my parents sent me off to church camp.
Yes.
In 78, 79, I was on a tour bus going up in the California mountains, sitting in the back seat with the bad kids. And somebody had a boom box and was playing Hellbent for Leather.
Awesome.
And I was like, who is this? And this kid with kind of longish hair was like, this is Judas Priest. And everybody's like, oh, and that was when I got bit, I think, by the heavy metal bug. I think
what a great story.
Yeah. And then my parents' record collection as well was like Steppenwolf and stuff like that. Right. So you had Born to Be Wild, and then Heavy Metal Thunder. That really got me there. But that was my first getting turned on to Priest, man, is On the Way to Church Camp.
That's so great, Dev. That's just a great story.
Yeah.
What a great introduction.
So
the bad kids are always at the back of the bus. I posted a picture. I posted a picture on Instagram on a tour in Europe, and I'm at the front of the bus, and the band's at it wasn't a tour bus. It was like a people mover.
Yeah.
And all the guys are collected at the back, and I'm doing a selfie, and they'll give me the finger, like the bad kids. Bad kids in the back of the van. So I know what that means. Some great things happen in the back of the bus. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. We could go into that on another.
Yeah, that'd be a separate podcast.
So look, I'm sure I'm not alone. I'm thanking you for all the music over the years, man. I know people want to say that to you all the time. I'm sure every time you meet somebody, they want to say, either give me an autograph or thank you for the music. But I'm saying thank you for the music over the years, mate. Like you give it your all. Your voice is insane. You're an intense front man. Like you're like the guy for me. You're one of the guys that just comes out and just is heavy metal, right? And so thank you for that. I'm just saying that, not really a question, but just letting you know what everybody else around me would want to say to you,
That means a lot. I appreciate that. That means a lot, because we're all in this world together.
Yeah.
Your band, my band. We've all lived the life. We know what it means to be in a band. It ain't easy. It's not easy.
No, it ain't easy.
You can't even, you don't know where to start
it ain't easy
to get on that stage. What it takes to get even on that stage is just like a whole life book story to itself.
Sometimes it could be a mindfuck. People, I'm extremely private. I know you are as well, but I think on stage is where we can let that id.
That's it. Yes.
Out,
Yeah, it's the other side of who we are. Yeah. It's the stuff we can get away with on stage that otherwise, if we were on the street, we'd be back in the trail. So.
or in the fucking loony bin, man.
So close, really.
The first time I met you, I was with Insamo, and it was in Arizona. And
Yeah.
you came backstage and Phil's like, hey, I want you to meet somebody. And I was like, who? And he's like, Rob Halford. I was like shitting in my pants. And you had just got your back done. Your whole back was,
Yeah.
dude, it was fresh
Wow.
and all done. And you showed us that work.
Wow.
And so look, just thanks for being so cool to me along the way. Cause every time I've run into you, you've been cool as shit. All right. So look, so most podcasts are a simple convo, right? They kind of ramble. I've done
Yeah.
them, you've done them. I wanted to do a thing with real set questions that I ask everybody, which
All
are
right.
things that I've always wanted to know. Like, so when I listen to a podcast, I'm always like, shit, man, you didn't ask him like what his fucking favorite color was. Like, I want to know what his food
Yeah.
was. So I do a thing here called Fast and Furious, right? Which is like
Yeah.
25 rapid questions with you. Answer as
Okay.
long or as short as you want.
Okay.
And
Right.
we'll butt heads and get right into it, right?
All right. Let's do it.
So
Yeah.
this is a good
Yeah.
one. This is one that like people don't ever ask. So like the first record you ever bought, do you still listen to music from that band or listen to that band?
Well, here's the deal on that. The first records that I ever listened to that really, really had an incredible effect on me were records that were given to me by my aunt. Aunt Pat, my dad's sister.
Okay.
She's still with us, God bless us. She's in her 80s and she's still roaring.
Yeah.
But she donated an old record player to me as a kid. I was about what, 9, 10, 8, I can't remember.
Yeah.
I opened the lid of the record player. It was an old dance set record player.
Yeah, I know.
And inside were 3 singles: Bill Haley and the Comets,
Oh,
Little Richard,
yes.
and Elvis. So
Oh,
I'd never heard of these people, and I put them on, and I think I put Little Richard on one first, and it's like tutti frutti.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell is this? So those 3 people, but particularly Little Richard, I was watching some Little Richard stuff on YouTube the other day.
Yeah.
I could talk forever about Little Richard, what he did for rock and roll.
Insane artist, man.
God.
Insane.
I was watching him do a chat show with Mike Douglas from years ago.
Yeah.
Him and Liberace sitting side by side talking about music. It was like an hour and I was transfixed. But Little Richard definitely is still someone. And without a doubt, Elvis, because Elvis was a game changer. Both of them were game changers.
Yeah.
But Elvis, particularly for me, big time.
So for me, psychobilly and punk rock were a big deal. I was actually in a psychobilly band when I was 15. I was a stand-up drummer, Pompadour, and the whole gig.
Great.
So Elvis, a huge influence. Little Richard, I have a great story. I met him in an elevator one time, was wearing leopard skin creepers, and he looked down at me and he goes, "Hey, nice shoes," and then got off. And
That's amazing.
I was like, "Holy shit!" You know, I was like, "I can't believe this." That's so cool. We'll rapid fire it. That's good to know. First time that you sang in front of people, where were you? And what did you sing?
Yeah. I tell this story in my book. I was again a little kid at school.
Okay.
And the school was putting a choir together.
Yeah.
And each of us in the music class had to go to the front of the class with the teacher. Yeah. She had a little upright piano and she played a song and we had to sing by her side so she could check out our voices.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And I sang this old Scottish ballad called Speed Bonnie Boat. And I finished and she looked at me and she goes, "Do that again and sing it to the class." So you do as you're told. In those days,
100%.
the teacher told you to do something, you did it.
Yeah.
So did it again, and a few kids in the class started to clap, like a little bit of applause. I'm like, oh my God, what are they doing? Is that for me? So that talk about catalysts. That has never left me. It was as though that was the day I discovered not only the voice, but the reaction that the voice can create in terms of musical emotion, the way music connects with us on such a pure level. Yeah, so that's the moment. Yeah.
Nice. That kind of goes into my next question, which is like, when did you realize you wanted to become a singer? But obviously, was it then that you said, okay, I want to become a singer?
No, it was much later. It was much later. It was probably through the back end of my teenage years. Yeah. You know what it's like. There's a point in your life when you hate school, you hate your mom and dad, you hate your friends, but you love your music.
I'm with you, man.
I went through that process. And, had a couple of like real amateur semi-pro bands, but they were important. Those early bands that we're in, they're so important.
True.
Because they test us, they test us. We
Absolutely.
really get to understand, is this what I really want to do? Am
Yeah.
I going to commit to this 100%? Am I going to
Yeah.
give my life to this? So, yeah, those early bands, Lord Lucifer,
Oh,
Athens Wood, you know, there's a couple more I can't remember. Abraxas, like bluesy rock bands,
yeah,
psychedelic
cool.
rock bands.
Yeah, cool.
But when I first heard metal, I'm like, that's it. This metal thing, this is it. I'm going. I'm all in. I'm all in.
So instead of my next question, which is the 5 artists that changed your life, because we've already heard like 3 of them, tell me the metal, like the first metal, like real metal band you heard that made you go, okay, this is a direction I'm going.
Well, there really wasn't any metal about when it all kicked off. I mean, we always give a nod to our brothers from Black Sabbath who were from the same town. So that's 69. Priest began as a band name in 69.
Okay.
Um,
Wow, I didn't know that,
so
Rob. I didn't know
yeah, so
69.
the heaviness again. That was the great thing about the mid late 60s. Everything was getting louder. You
Yeah.
know, Jim Marshall was making the amps, and the pickups Les Paul was using was able to pick up a louder vibe from the guitar, and everything was getting bigger and louder. And there was this revolution in the air, cultural revolution.
Yeah.
People were screaming politically. People were screaming socially.
Yeah.
Everything was getting louder and stronger and more potent. So that's really how those you can hear those inflections there on that very first Priest album, Rock'n'Roller.
Right.
You know, it's there. It's like struggling to escape. It finally gets out inside Wings of Destiny, but those are the roots for me. The roots of metal. You know, at the beginning where we started to pick away in the mine and make the metal happen.
Yeah, I didn't know that 69. I didn't know that you guys formed in 69, but what a
Yeah, I wasn't in the
revolutionary
band. I wasn't
time.
in the band then. Yeah, I joined the band in 71, I think it was.
Okay, 71.
That's why we've been playing. We've been playing bat and ball with the 50 years. Well, what is 50 years? And we kind of homed in on 71-ish.
Works for me, mate. Favorite show you ever played? Where, with whom? What made it stand out? Was it rainy? Were you in Japan? Where were you? That was just a show that you can always take into your heart and be like, this is the one.
Well, there's two. One, as far as watching, was at the Isle of Wight, where I saw Jimi Hendrix
Oh
and The
shit.
Who. I was in a field with a coat and a no tent for 3 days, nothing to eat, and just watched all this incredible stuff. One of the first Isle of Wight festivals.
Yeah.
As a band, without a doubt. Well, it's tough, but I always have to put the Led Zeppelin down, the Green Show that Bill Graham put together. It was two
Wow.
days. One of
Okay.
our first trips to America. We were on the road for months. We were playing 7 shows a week and traveling and everything.
Woo.
But towards the end, we got a call from Robert Plant, who knew about the band, and he said, "Zeppelin's got 2 shows in California. Will you hang out and wait and jam with us?" So
Yeah.
yeah, of course, you
Of
know.
course.
So
Yeah.
we parked our carcasses in like a flea bag a motel by the side of the freeway in Oakland and waited. And we went on, and you can find those pictures. I don't think I've ever heard any music, but I look at the pictures. We got this 50th anniversary Priest book with photographs, and you can see those pictures where we're on stage at like,
That's
I
it
don't know,
behind. That's it behind
10
you
in the
there.
morning.
That's
Yeah,
it behind you
it's
there.
the
Okay.
50th anniversary Priest in pictures. And you know, pictures, so what is it? Every picture tells a story.
Yeah.
This book's got hundreds and probably thousands of pictures. And I look at them and my mind is all, yeah, that was in Germany, that was in Brazil, that was in New York, you know.
Yeah.
So
I'm
that
gonna
one,
need that.
that one. Yeah,
Telling the
that
wife to
one.
make sure and get me that.
Oh yeah, hey, well, yeah, I'll get I'll let Miss Andrews
Yes.
know that you need one in the post.
She's been absolutely wonderful. My manager and wife,
She's
Anastasia, they've been going
wonderful.
back and forth. She's wonderful. Here's a great
I
one.
love powerful women. I love powerful women,
Oh
especially in our
yeah.
world. You know, Jane and Sharon and Wendy, and there's a bunch of them. You know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be anywhere in my career if I wasn't managed by Sharon. My wife has kept me straight and narrow. I have 3 sisters, was raised by my mom. My mom is my hero. So yeah, strong women are a big deal to me. And
Beautiful.
it's good to see that we think the same. Yeah, so she's been wonderful. This is a great one. So I gotta fucking hear airplanes. Like we fly a lot, right?
Oh, man, yeah.
love him or hate him, right? That's what I want to know from you.
I love him.
Yeah.
I love him. My
Okay.
other half, Thomas, hates him, but I'll sit in the plane all day. I
Yeah.
love it, man. I
Watch a
love it,
movie.
you know. Yeah, I just find the experience mind blowing. I can get from Phoenix to London in a, you know, if the wind's blowing in the right direction, I can be there in about 9 hours, you know.
Yeah.
So if I get in my car and drive to LA, that can take
Yeah.
6 hours, you know. So
Yeah.
that's just a trip that you can travel so far. And then I love doing these long journeys from London to Australia. You know, it
Oh,
takes
yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
Takes forever. I
Get a
just love
couple,
being in a plane.
get a
Yeah.
couple movies. You get to be by yourself. You order a little grub.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this, the one Zoom link that we have, I'm going to edit this out, right? But the one Zoom
Okay,
link
sure.
we have is like 35 minutes. So right before this cuts out, I'll let you know. We'll hang up
Yeah.
and call me right back and we'll do another 10 just to get the rest of
Okay,
the
that's
questions.
cool.
If that's okay.
Uh-huh.
If you weren't a front man, because we all did different things. I was a brickie. I did a lot of different shit. If you weren't a front man, what direction would you go in life? Where would you have gone?
Well, I always, you know, I worked at a theatre in Wolverhampton just as I
Okay.
got out of high school.
Yeah.
For about a year and change, and I went in there as a floor sweeper, and I ended up operating the lights and doing all these big shows and stuff. And I just love the magic of what actors can do.
Yeah.
The way that they can convince you, and you're just lost. You go into this place, and it's not real, but it's real to you.
Yeah.
You know, I just love that. So that's always been a kind of a secret, not really a bucket list, but I think because before I left school, I actually did some research and went to a couple of these acting academy type of schools just to feel it out, figure out what the deal was.
Yeah.
But by then, music had already started to get its claws
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
me.
Okay.
So
So maybe acting, maybe an actor. And
I don't know. Hey, man, you know, life is a gift, and you should never think it's too old or too late to do stuff. Just do it. Have a
man,
go.
I'd love to see you in something. I really would. I'd
Yeah.
love to see you in something, you know. I think you'd be magnificent. If you have the passion for it, it's obviously you can do it. Out of the maybe 4 or 5, 6 more questions that I have, there's one that I really want to know. Favorite villain?
Every villain. Oh Lord. I tell you one. I tell you one right off the top of my head. From one of my all-time favorite TV shows right now, still going, The Walking Dead, and Negan.
Okay.
I love Negan. I used to hate him. I still hate Negan. Like, we still hate him. But if you saw the backstory of what turned him, the way he lost his wife to the virus,
right,
you could see that the cataclysmic psychology of something like that happening to you, how that changed his life and how he became this horrible person. But now we've seen him kind of transposed back to the original guy. You know, there's two Negans. It's like yin and yang, Jekyll and Hyde. So definitely a Negan. Negan's my go-to villain.
That's interesting. Desert Island. You're on a desert island. Who are you going to bring with you? I already know the answer. Who do you want with you?
Well, you tell me who you think I'm going to say.
Obviously,
we'll
obviously.
Well, let me just say. See. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Lennon.
Okay.
Who were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say your partner. I was going to say your partner.
Oh, well, that's sweet. Oh my God! Now he's going to kick my ass. Now I'm going to tell him this question. You wouldn't want me there. But I'm thinking of music. I've always been a huge Beatles fan. I love what Lennon did for his his work on a human level.
Yeah,
equally, I could have said Lemmy or Dio or any of the beautiful people that we've lost in our world. But there's something I've always loved the way Lennon's mind has worked. So yeah, I'll stick with Lennon. And we'll keep Thomas in a boat in the distance. All right, you can come on now. You come on.
Keep Thomas in a boat. I was raised around Beatles records, and I remember one of the times I got a real ass whooping, Rob. I drew all over the White record. My stepfather's White record. Yeah, I drew all over it after school I got an ass whooping, and I learned at that point, okay, these album covers are not art to draw on.
Treasure. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so two last questions, and they're heavy or they're light, depending on how you take it. But best part of being a public figure is one of them.
Okay. Well, it's like I've said before, in terms of the joy that we get from our music and whatever level of success.
Yeah.
It's just you can't really describe it in words, because it's just so full of every kind of emotion.
Yeah.
I just love it. Whether you like it or not, some responsibility. It's like the Spider-Man thing with great blah blah comes responsibility, and the dust comes some responsibility. I mean, let's face it, dude. It's a job, right? And if you do a shitty job, you get somebody's going to again kick you in the ass.
You're going to get something thrown at you.
Yeah, I'll get something thrown at you. You suck. I've been there. So yeah, definitely. This the joy of all the beautiful things that have happened to me as a singer for Judas Priest. It's just a blessing. It's a blessing.
Now give me the real on this one.
Yeah.
Worst part of being a public figure.
Is the one? I suppose there is, but it would be hard for me to focus on. This is the reason why I don't like being a public figure. I think probably because you and I are private people, and I like to think that that's with me wherever I go.
Yeah.
So when I'm not working is what I'm talking about.
Of course.
So when I'm not working, I like to put all that away to one side. But you can't do that, man. You can't do that. If you bump into me when I'm pushing my buggy around Fry's while I'm getting the milk and bread, and they go, "Oh my God, it's Rob, can I have a selfie?" I'll give you a selfie, begrudgingly, because dude, I'm doing my shopping. Got to get the eggs.
Yeah, good for you.
But that's a tiny thing compared to the glorious rewards that we get in being in a band.
You know what an awesome way to end this. I thank you for your time, Rob. It's been awesome seeing your face. You look fucking great. I can't wait to see you.
Thank you, man. I'm turning into the Gandalf of heavy metal with this beard. I don't know whether I should.
The beard, man. I love
should I keep it or what? I don't know what to do.
I
think I might keep it.
I love the beard. You didn't start your career with a beard, either did I. My wife, when I shave my beard, my wife gets all bummed out.
Who is that guy? Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful evening. And I know that everybody's waiting to see you at Bloodstock, man. So go kill it. And thank you for your time, brother.
It's been a pleasure. Heavy Stay Metal.
My pleasure.
See you, bro.
Take care, bro. Yeah.